What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Renee with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. On the phone this evening, we have a brother by the name of James Askew Jr. He wants to talk about his over sentencing. We're going to talk about what led to his over sentencing and some of the new revelations that have come around and the problem that he's having with trying to get his day in court again. So we're going to jump right into it. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for asking. We're going to jump right into it, okay, bro?
Yes.
All right. So tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you from.
My name is James Askew Jr. and I'm from Water Rapids, Georgia. And, I'm basically like I'm the second child of five kids. I basically had a great life growing up, but I just, streets, fell to the streets, and even though both my parents were home, I still just fell to the streets. But other than that, I turned to time and started doing little petty things as a teenager. And it evolved into one armed robbery, my first violent crime. They took my life for it. They gave me life without parole because my third felony being a violent one. They sentenced me as a recidivist and gave me life without the possibility of parole.
Okay. So how long have you been incarcerated so far?
I've been incarcerated 25 years and like 4 months now.
Okay.
25 years and 4 months.
And what state did this happen in?
Georgia.
Okay. Does Georgia have like a 3-strike law or anything like that?
Yes, they have 3-strike law. They has the recidivist law. Yeah, they have like the 2-strike law too, also. But basically, the 3-strike law.
Okay. And do you believe that's why they gave you so much time?
I believe they gave me so much time because at the time, I think it was confusion. And people looked at it as it seemed racist, but, with the DA, they both being white, and then my lawyers both being black, and me being black, And just some of the stuff they done, you can say that they was biased because I was black, but I really, I just think that they just got it wrong,
Okay. Did you have any co-defendants?
Yes, I had a cousin. My cousin testified against me.
Okay.
And he done 10 years. After testifying against me, he done 10 years, got out. He been out since 2007.
So you only had one co-defendant?
Yes, just one co-defendant.
Okay. So, a lot of people that will be listening to this interview are prison advocates and things like that, are kind of familiar with the system, and they would agree that a life sentence for armed robbery is excessive. Let me ask you this. Did anyone get hurt?
No one was hurt, period.
Okay.
Not a gun fired. And plus, my co-defendant testified that the gun wasn't loaded, So.
Okay, it wasn't loaded. Okay, so my question, or what I would like you to try to do is, for those that might not be as well versed in, how the things can go in the legal system, why do you feel you were over sentenced? Like, why is the punishment too much for the crime? In your own words.
Because I was young, ignorant, and black, basically,
Okay. So you've been down for, quite a long time.
Yes.
I don't want to assume, so I want to ask you and give you an opportunity. Do you feel like you are rehabilitated?
Yes.
Okay.
To the third power.
Okay. So tell us some.
Yes, I am.
Tell us some differences between the young man that was a part of that crime then and the man you are now.
the man that committed the crime, the young kid that committed the crime, was ignorant, blinded, just confused. But the man, and didn't have a mind to even think, put it like that, because had I thought, I never would have done it. But now that I can think, my mind's stronger, I understand things, I see that, hey, it's real. They'll definitely take your life, nothing, the smallest things in a sense,
Right.
But they'll let the next person that might have committed something that's a vulgar crime or worse crime, you know what I'm saying? But here it is, I got like not a kidnapping, but I got like what it is, a burglary, entering an auto, and a forgery, second degree forgery. And I catch one armed robbery, and they gave me life without parole for it.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 23.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up. So you was born and raised in Georgia?
Yes, I was born and raised here.
Okay.
Terry, Warner Robins, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raised up. I mean, like I said, it was 5 of us. Then both my parents. I basically had everything I wanted, I ain't never want for nothing growing up. Neither one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been blessed. I just got caught up in the streets and,
Okay. So,
yes.
What kind of litigation do you have going on now to try to obtain your freedom?
I got a second state habeas corpus going, and I'm waiting right now for the a date in which I will have to appear before this the TV streams and stuff, and talk to the judge, see if they allow it, because I already had one, and my first one came in 2011, in May 3rd, 2011. So I'm the second one is a successive, and I'm just raising the issue that to prove that had my lawyer, hired attorney at the time, done what she was supposed to do, and called the person that sent me to prison, I would have been home 10 years ago.
Okay.
Because he was still the district attorney.
So what do you mean by, give us a little bit of explanation on that, if she would have called them. You mean called them to the stand?
Yes, called him to the stand. I asked her to subpoena him.
Okay.
And she was like, no, I'm not going to subpoena him because he don't need to be. He's a district attorney. At first, she was trying to, say that, hey, he be too busy. But I kept, going at her and going at her. And so then she wrote me and my mother a letter and told us that she had just contacted both DAs and that neither one wanted to speak, or go on the record about my case, and neither one wanted to admit that it was a 15-year plea offer.
Okay.
But she, this the thing that she did. She lied. She never contacted him. Not at all. She lied to keep from calling him. You know what I'm saying, to me and my mother, because I was definitely mad because I wanted him, and I knew one of my uncles just told me that he wanted to talk to me. So I told my lawyer, hey, talk to him and see what he wants. But she didn't do it. She lied twice. She wrote me twice. I still got the letters. And she said that he said he didn't want nothing to do with my case. So, but later on, and a few years later, I wrote him. Me and my wife at the time, we wrote him, and he gave me an affidavit supporting me, saying, hey, I've been trying to help get you out. I've been trying to do this, And then, but it was too late. Then I didn't have the hearing. The hearing was over with. So, now I'm just, right now it's like like mercy, because I've exhausted all my remedies for court. So right now it's just about, praying and just asking this court for mercy to see the evidence that I got that'll prove my point, prove that had she called him, I've been home 10 years ago and not still serving.
I know you sent me some paperwork. You sent me 3 affidavits, correct? Can you tell everyone a little bit more about what they are?
Those affidavits, they're all from the district attorney, the former district attorney, Kelly Burt, who sentenced me to prison. He's the guy who has also been championing for me to get home. You know what I'm saying? He's been to the parole board, but they saying, hey, it's a law that was passed, and by this law, ain't nothing we can do. Only the courts can do something. But I filed an extraordinary motion with his affidavits, in which he letting them know that, hey, I got this wrong. He let them know that, hey, had he been seasoned as a district attorney, he could have handled my case more fairly. He basically summed it up and said, hey, had I not listened to these people over here, which was, the white people that was looking for him to, step on my neck or kill me. But he was basically saying that, hey, I would have done right by him. I could have handled his case fairly, and he wouldn't be serving a life without parole sentence. And furthermore, he also states that he told my lawyer on 3 separate occasions that he offered me, he was offered a 15-year plea, but my lawyer never told me.
Wow.
Never once told me. He never once told me. He never once explained it, so I wrote it. And this the biggest thing about it, I wrote him in 2005, and I asked him, I said, hey, why didn't you warn me or my parents about a life without the possibility of parole if I was convicted? And he wrote me back, and he said, Jesse, it was nice hearing from you. He said, as far as me warning you or talking to you about a life without parole, he said, I can't say for certain that I warned you. He said that twice in his one letter.
Mm-hmm.
So I raised him ineffective at the state habeas corpus with another attorney, but she wouldn't put the letter into evidence to show the courts that, hey, this is what he said, which would have been 6 years earlier. But 6 years later, he testified that he told me. But I got a letter that proved it. He said he was certain. He didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But the same lawyer who wouldn't call this district attorney, she was the same lawyer that wouldn't put his letter forward, to show the courts that this is what he said 6 years earlier,
Right. I understand. So let me ask you this: what is it that you're looking for from the people as far as assistance?
Well, any, because hey, once you it's like once you in here, you gone 20, 25, 30 years, people kind of forget about what happened to you, you know what I'm saying? They just see that it was a crime. They don't think about whether you was done wrong or nothing. They just see that, hey, you committed a crime, but they figure, hey, you committed this crime, so, hey, you deserve that time. But it's not like that, When I'm not just the only one. It's so many that in situations like mine, but we ain't got no voice, And those that do get a voice or do get a chance, when they get out, they never come back, never try to help us. For instance, we got 2 here in Georgia, one in 2019 and one last year, and I've been locked up. I was incarcerated with both of them on my prison bed this time, and they both were sentenced just as I was sentenced, with life without parole for having pre-prior felonies and fourth for being a violent crime, which was armed robbery. The first guy, Christopher Williams, he had a prior armed robbery. He got out of prison, and he committed a second armed robbery with a guy, but he didn't have a gun. So by law, they was able to give him a second chance. But they said that they couldn't give me a second chance on the same crime, same exact, because I had a weapon. You see what I'm saying? But my thing about him in my case is he had just been to prison for armed robbery. I never had one. I never been in trouble like that, And then you got Spratt Howard. He was here with me. He did 25 years. But the district attorneys and the judges in their counties here in Georgia were the ones that agreed that they was over sentenced. You know what I'm saying? So they overturned by them agreeing that they was over sentenced. You know what I'm saying? They was able to take their life without offering them and let them go free. So my thing is, I got the same exact case. No one was hurt. Not a gunshot, no nothing. It was just, well, we went in a store, and my cousin went. He grabbed money. I'm in the back. I used to work in the place, and they just made a mistake and gave me. I feel like they just overdid it, and I feel like my lawyer at the time didn't understand the life without parole statute at the time. They was seeking against me, and I think that's where the hang up really came.
Okay. So from the public, you're looking for like moral support.
Say it again.
From the public, you looking for moral support? Because I'm trying to
Yes.
find out, like, okay.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
That's it. And just, somebody, voices. Because, people, once we stand together, it's strong. The government and the system, they respect that type of stuff. But I just want the people to understand that my case is a case that where I shouldn't be serving life without parole. When the man that sent me to prison has told the courts, it's basically telling them that, hey man, I got it wrong. I was wrong the way I did this. And hey man, you know what I'm saying? But hey, they don't want to listen to it. His word was only good enough to take my life. You see what I'm saying?
But not good enough to give it back.
Not good enough to save it, in a sense, Yes. His name is Kelly Burke. He's a former judge also. But the big thing about this thing also, he was in hospice twice. They was looking for him to die from cancer twice. You see? And he was able to come back and start back practicing law. But the thing about it, he wrote me and told me that it's his life goal, because he know that he wronged me as a black man, but he basically, I got everything, he's willing to justify to anything, But my thing is I need people to see what the injustice in my case, where it come with my lawyer and my habeas that lied, that who wouldn't call the man help me, and who wouldn't also present a letter that could show that my lawyer 6 years prior testimony was totally different than his testimony 6 years later, in which the judge ruled in the state favor, saying that I didn't have nobody to rebut what I was saying, to rebut what I was saying against him. So therefore, it wasn't strong enough. But had she called Kelly Burke, who was still the acting district attorney, I would have went home 10 years ago. My lawyer, who I've just had for the past 7 years, he scammed my parents basically out of $250,000 for 7 years. And he, you know what I'm saying? I just fired him maybe 3 months ago, and I fired him, and we going through the little suit, but he had scammed us out of all of the money. You know what I'm saying? And the state saying, even though you got the bar people that write to everybody, it's like they're trying to protect it, even though he hasn't done nothing. I haven't been in court or nothing in 7 years, but he's got all our money,
Right. So he took your money, but nothing came.
No, nothing. I haven't been to court at all. 7 years. He took all the money, and now I had to fire him because he keeps sending the bills out saying this was and you know what I'm saying? So I fired him, even though he hadn't done nothing for me in a chance of trying to get our money back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hate to hear that happened.
Yes.
Make sure you say his name again. What's his name?
His name is Michael Kennedy McIntyre.
And he's out of Georgia.
Of McIntyre and Associates of Atlanta, Georgia.
Got it. So y'all make sure y'all remember that name. He's a thief.
Yes, a thief.
Anything else you want to add, bro, before we wrap it up?
Just just lend their heart, just understand it, just to realize, and just to see the injustice,
Yeah.
Understand this, and not just see the crime, that's what's wrong. People just see a crime, but they don't see the whole picture,
Me
understanding what I needed to work on as a person.
Right. Okay, so yeah, so let's expand on that. So, what other things have been going on with you as far as rehabilitation and, being prepared for the world the way it is now?
Well, I've been really focused on being in control. The most important part that a person must learn, coming up where we come from in the urban community anyway, is being in control of his actions and how he responds to certain things. So my most biggest point was, though, I had to learn to be in control of myself was when I was getting caught up in a lot of miscellaneous incidents in the institution, catching little institution infractions, little fights, stuff like that. So I'm telling myself, like, damn, I got a lot of people depending on me out there.
Right.
This call is from a federal prison.
I had created a lot of pain in a lot of people's hearts. It was depending on me out there.
Right.
So, like I left my kids out there, me and my kid's mother, we had been together since her first day at junior high school. She was 13, I was 14. We had our first child when I was 16 years old. I actually fathered a child of hers that wasn't mine. And we grew together, So we was together from like the age I was 14 till I got locked up at 21 years old. So I've been locked up since I was 21. I'm 44 now. I'll be 45 in August. So I broke her heart. And the kid was affected by that because of the hate that she grew for me for leaving her out there without them kids. I mean, without me giving her. Well, let me reiterate that. She grew hate in her heart toward me because of me leaving her out there to struggle and survive by herself with those kids. So the kids was affected by her feelings toward the entire situation. So my kids grew up like in a lot of pain and a lot of dislike for me. I hadn't seen my kids since 2004. When I got incarcerated, my daughter was 2 months old. So they grew without me. And they had another man raise them. You know what I'm saying? Which is the most hurtful part when a man gets incarcerated, and he had a little family out there, and now you have somebody else taking your place. So you can't get mad at the man. And if anything, I appreciate him being there for my kids.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of pain. It was a lot of frustration. So I was acting out because of my frustration. I didn't understand it at first.
Right.
The first couple of years of me coming in, I didn't understand it at first. So as time went on, I'm like, damn. I had an older guy. His name is Coleman Bay. Right, older guy, been down for a long time, man. He been down since the 70s, right? But he guided me through a lot of things in regard to me making these random acts or me acting out. And I'm thinking that it is just like, man, this dude jumped out there with me. I'm trying to see him. But it was more than that deep inside. It was the pain that was inside. You know what I'm saying? So as time went on, I understood it. So that's the most important part about being in here or just growing specifically in life and being a black male. Is understanding what you are, who you are, how you think, and what you think. So by me learning that, eventually, it gave me the ability to be better in control of myself.
Okay, so you actually like matured,
right?
For past that,
Right.
Okay. So what are some of your plans when you get out?
Well, my plans when I get out is to open up an organization, Fook Inc., Fathers of Our Community, and I got a curriculum that I'm trying to create with the city first, right? And that's to get a lot of guys my age that been through the stuff that I've been through, and give us like 10 of your considered worst case scenarios in regard to the young guys that's out there, right? And just getting involved and just being involved in a lot of stuff. We don't want the ones that's actually locked up. We want the ones whose names is ringing in the street so we can get a hold of them and give them the opportunity to see something different.
Okay.
Because a lot of these guys that's in the street, they don't understand they got a lot of potential and a lot of talents, but they don't have no one to take notice of them, to take them that serious. You know?
Right.
So you got a lot of older guys out there, right, that, you know, they not taking the youth and the youth's experience serious enough, whereas though they to not allow them to go through what we went through.
Right. I
So
understand.
I don't want to see these young guys experience what I experienced. You know, my son was getting molested by his uncle, right, when he was a little boy while I was in trial. I never knew this. I found this out 16 years later. The family kept it away from me.
Right.
So I don't want these little guys that's out here that's living this particular lifestyle to get caught up and allow their families to be affected by a bad decision. It could have been if they had a person to grab them by the hand and give them a little direction, right? It might have changed the circumstance of their circumstance and their family circumstance, you know? So that's my whole focus right there, is to get involved into the young guys out there in the community. Okay, now I went back on a written 2018, 2019 for evidentiary hearing in my case. So I went back to DC jail. So I had the opportunity to be around a lot of the young guys.
This call is from a federal prison.
I have a lot of older guys always say, oh, they don't listen, or, you know, ain't nobody got time to be messing with the young guys, you know what I'm saying? They don't listen to us, this, that, and up. So, man, I'm talking about them little guys was worrying me to death. They call me Uncle Bree. So I'm trying to duck them now because they every time they open up the doors, right, these little guys is coming to me with their problems and issues. And I appreciated being there for them and being able to support them and help them and guide them through a lot of their trials and tribulations. So I say, you know, that's what I want to do when I get out there. I want to get out there and try to help these little guys out, man, because I know that if I had some guidance, right, that I wouldn't have made the decision that I made, and, you know, a lot of hurt and a lot of pain in the community that I had created at that time. So
right.
That's where I'm at when I get home.
So it's a mentorship program, and what you right, call it?
Right. FOOC Inc. FOOC, Fathers of Our Community. Fathers of Our Community.
Okay. Incorporated.
Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, probably more so like, you know, I just want to get I just need the city to back me on the funding to make sure that I had a housing to provide them with. Then I could do everything else myself as far as, you know, specific curriculums in regard to helping these dudes seek their talents and understand their talents and become a little more creative. You know, so that's where I'm at, you know.
That's definitely commendable. So I want to ask you before we get disconnected, if someone wanted to connect with you, how would they do so?
Well, I'm at USP Atwater, right, in California. My Fed number is 332-480-007, Breon Arrington. So they can reach out to me by that way, or shoot me an email. I don't have my email right offhand, but I have to get that to you later on. But that's the best way right there, you know.
All right. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with?
I want to leave the people with this poem I wrote last night.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's called Putting Your Best Self Forward. Good day to my loved ones. Today is a new day, So how about everyone putting their best self forward? For some, it could be worse, right? I came in, I was 21. Now I'm 44. I've endured racism, segregation based on geographic location, knife fights, race riot, police brutality. I lived in a cell for 36 months straight that was the size of your bathroom. That when it was time to eat, the rats and roaches came out and asked me for some. I had to learn the law myself because the justice system just won't give in. It's been 23 years and it starts to feel like no one cares. For the lion in me, I'll continue to breathe. I lost my father last year. It starts to feel like no one cares. Mom's getting old. My heart is starting to get cold. My daughter says she hates me because of life without me. The mother of my kids says she would never forgive me for leaving her. She told me you got life and I'm going on with my life. For my so-called good men who was my men who stood with me, out rain, good guns, and we were supposed to come from that grain. It's been a long time. How could you forget me? My enemies been friends to me. I woke today to put my best self forward. The mistakes I made showed me a lot. It taught me how to breathe and see, and that is to continue on. A mistake to me was an opportunity to show me a different way. Some mistakes I made me pray. It rained hard on me, hoping one day that I'll be free. So everyone put your best self forward today. That's all I got to say.